Finally, Steve Westell. Term limits, yes or no? If yes, what would they be?
Yes, 6 years. I have that on the pledgetoamerica.org. That was a pledge site that I started back after coming home from the 9/12 march. Pretty simple. George Washington, one of the greatest presidents, he went home, didn't he? He said, my time's up. I served my country. I'm going home to be a citizen. Our legislators don't do that today, folks. They become a career politician. How can they represent us when they don't know what we're going through? The fact is, we don't hold these folks accountable. Congress had some of the lowest approval ratings in 06 and 08. Over 90% of them won re-election. That's our fault. But they have all the money. It's hard to run against somebody when you're up against $1 million war chest or a $2 million war chest. So I do believe in term limits. Yes, we're going to lose some good candidates. It doesn't mean their career is over. They can go back to their state. That's where the power should be anyway. As a representative that goes to Washington, I should look forward to coming back home and running for a state legislator. We should put the state legislators up on a pedestal and our federal legislators down. They should have to go home. One thing Jim Tom said is our federal legislators, he's running, what district is that,
49.
49. He said that our federal representatives should go and ask our state representatives if they should do this or that. That's where the power is, folks. It's here in the state. We forgot that, the 10th Amendment. The Constitution, amendments, our forefathers, our founding fathers, they made that document so we could have amendments to it. And I believe it's time to add term limits for our representatives, just like we did for the president.
Thank you, Steve. And you want to wait rebuttal, John?
No, I didn't get to answer the question.
You didn't call? I'm sorry, Larry. Larry, come on in. I'm going to answer that question. I want you all to do it too early. Sorry about that.
First of all, I'd like to say that I'm a doctor, I'm not a politician. I've never run for elective office. And me personally, if I'm elected, I don't plan on being a career politician. I plan to self-limit myself to 6 terms in the House because I want to move on. Term limits, if you put a restriction that is too tight, can cause you some issues. And the reason is because you have quality people like John Hosteller, and I saw John speak the other night, and he's actually spoke against term limits. What you want to have is a reasonable amount of time to represent the people, and if the people don't like what you're doing, they can vote you out of office. Now that said, I do agree that, like I said, I'm not a career politician. We need to look at reasonable restrictions on the amount of time that people can serve in the Congress and in the Senate. But you want experienced people representing you. If you turn people over too quickly, the amount of influence that your representative or your senator may have for your district may be smaller than others depending on their seniority. So you want experience. So ultimately, I think 3 terms in the Senate and 9 terms in the House is a reasonable approach, and I'd support that if it came up for a vote. But again, we the people that elect politicians have the ability to vote people out that are not representing us properly. And ultimately, I believe that is the best way to turn over the representatives and the senators in our government. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. All right.
Okay. Like a little bit of rebuttal here. Vote complacency is dangerous. In the business world, they turn over their executive management at a regular interval. That's different for every company, depending on the industry. In the automotive industry, it's every 5 to 10 years. They turn over the key personnel in their executive management. And they do this because they want new ideas, fresh blood. They do not want to be complacent in a competitive market. The problem that we have with not having term limits is that the people can become complacent and vote for the same people and then forget what they're doing in Congress and they get comfortable. And that's what we don't want, and that's why I support term limits, is to make sure that we as a people, as voters, don't get complacent along with our congressmen and our representatives. Thank you.